Oh, he's been wonderful. He's been, alert, focused, very excited, especially with everything that's been going on. And considering he hasn't seen his puppy raiser in a while, so I'm sure he's ecstatic about that. Honestly, it was so hard to sit there and hold these tears back, to not cry. Every time I kept getting choked up. I never thought I'd get this sentimental over this, but this is a life-changing experience. It's something I've been waiting for the longest 2 years of my life. And now that I finally have the service dog, the 2 weeks flew by. I guess the best way to explain it is what Albert Einstein said. When you're having fun, an hour feels like a minute, And when you're doing something you don't enjoy, a minute feels like an hour. So at first, the first couple of days felt so long, but now it's like, I feel like I just came here yesterday, and it just flew by after graduating and getting a dog that I've always wanted that's gonna further my independence and let me go out into the world and do things by myself without as much help as I needed before. So before I had a service dog, I live in an apartment building, so for me to get out of the apartment building, I needed an aid to open my door to my apartment, and then to get out of my door to my apartment, I needed an aid to open the door to get out of my apartment building. With the hopes of Prescott in my life and my service dog, he's gonna assist me in getting out of my building, so I'll be able to go places by myself. I'll be able to go through stores and actually grab items. He'll be able to take out my wallet. I'll be able to buy things. Like, I'll have more freedom and independence that I haven't really had in the last 15 to 16 years when I broke my neck. I feel anxious and excited about going home. It's going to be a change because the last 2 weeks we were all under the supervision and the guidance of our instructors. So if we had any questions, we could always go to them. But once we go home, it's going to be a different setting. It's going to be real, So there's going to be more distractions. I'm going to have to do this 100% by myself, and all the training that I went through in the last 2 weeks is going to be very useful. When it first happened, the first thing is I had to apply. And then after you have to apply, you have to wait a year just for them to get back to you and just for them to say, okay, would you come to a one-on-one interview? And during that time, we ended up coming to New York, staying here for 1 day, and then being interviewed with the team and the instructors on the needs that I was hoping my service dog to meet. So then after that year, then I went on a waiting list when they said, okay, Canine Companions for Independence said that they could help me. They can match me with a service dog, and I was like, wow. So after that, then I had to wait 2 years just to be matched with a dog, just for them to invite me to team training. And that 2 years seems so long. I'm sitting there going in my email, I'm messaging Jessica Rice asking, am I still on the waiting list? Am I moving up? To me, I wanted to see like a number, tell me where I am. But she's like, be patient, you're on the list, you're gonna be coming up soon. So each and every day, I was just praying to God, when could I get this call? When could I get this email? Am I gonna get a letter in the mail? And then finally, when the day came, when they emailed me and they said, can you come to November team training? I was choked up, I couldn't talk. Like my friend that was with me, that was my training assistant. I told him, but I had to turn around. I don't want to look at him and let him see that I had tears in my eyes and I was actually crying. I was trying to man up. And then finally, when the day came, when I came up here, I was anxious, excited. I'm like, how am I going to do this? It's going to be the longest 2 weeks of my life. And it just flew by. The bond that we created with the rest of the group was like an extended family, just because they were so easygoing. We all made each other feel comfortable. It was priceless. So the reason I went to Canine Companions for Independence was that I had a Bureau of Rehabilitation service counselor, and I was at her office, and she was behind her desk, and she had a service dog, and I'm like, I've been hoping to get a service dog and wanting to get a service dog since the dad broke my neck at the age of 16, but I never really knew on how to go about it. Every path that I took to get a service dog, you had to either pay, or not just that, or they weren't as trained or qualified as Canine Companions for Independence. So then she told me about Canine Companions for Independence. And the first thing I did was Google it, read about it, and I heard they were such a great organization that it just made me want to find out for myself. Honestly, if it wasn't for Canine Companions for Independence, this wouldn't be possible. So that's something that, I'm just at a loss of words just for the gratitude of this organization for the things that they do for people with disabilities and just how they change all of our lives. So I ended up breaking my neck. I was into doing tricks on a BMX bicycle, and I went to do a trick one day after my friend did the trick first. And I had a bad feeling, but I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? So I went to go do a trick, and as I went, my back tire hit the obstacle. I did a front flip. The handlebars turned, hit me in the chest, and my neck slammed against the ground, and my shoulder and broke instantly. So from that point, it was basically beating the odds. I had to learn how to breathe again. I was on a ventilator where a doctor told my mom, and I had no idea about being paralyzed, that your son's going to be in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. And at 16, you have no idea what that is. So I had to learn how to breathe, getting off a ventilator that was a machine that used to breathe for me. Then from there, I had to learn how to move again. Even though on paper, my injury was so high up, a C1, C3, incomplete, that I wasn't supposed to move. But basically with the will, determination, and mind over matter that I stuck to, I ended up regaining my strength, regaining my movement slowly, and having faith in God. Humor. I always had a good sense of humor, so I tried not to take things too seriously. Even during the times when I got anxious and depressed, I would always try to find something to laugh at, just to make myself laugh. Whether it was something stupid or just anything in general, just to put a smile on my face. Yeah. But luckily for me, I have a great group of friends and a good set of family, so they were always there for me since day one. Even my best friends, when I gave them the option, I understand, this is life-changing and this is going to be difficult, and I gave them an option if they wanted to step away, and they still stayed there. It's so hard. I'm just trying to hold the tears back and not get choked up. The last 2 weeks, it's been so intense, and then this graduation, I feel like literally it just started and now it just ended so soon and so subtle. Same thing, I would like to add that none of this is possible without the puppy raisers, because they put all the hard work in. They exhausted themselves just to train a great dog. That's going to change my life. So I'd like to thank them and thank CCI. I mean, the thing that astonishes me the most about this is that it's a $50,000 dog. A dog that costs as much as a Mercedes-Benz or a Beamer, and just all the hours that they go into training this dog, so that way it could help a person with a disability that really needs it, so it could help change our lives. And they give this dog to us absolutely free. The thing that I love about Canine Companions for Independence is it truly is a nonprofit organization.